everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I am your host, Laura Alfonso, here at the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center for GoLocal Prov. And we are talking about some small businesses today here in Providence, Rhode Island. And for our very first guest, we have Rebecca Volynsky. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rebecca.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you bringing all of these very tasty looking goods.
I'm so excited to share them with you.
Yes, I can just smell them. Oh my gosh, delicious. So before we get started talking about what kind of things you got going on, I want to hear about you're a busy woman. I think that you are just working around the clock. You must be heavily caffeinated.
Yeah, also at the moment, very much so.
Very much.
Open the cafe.
Bright earlies, definitely. But I would love to hear about your backstory. I think you have such an interesting history that you bring into your food, and I would just love to hear all about it.
Sure, yeah. So I am from Providence, born and raised.
Born and raised.
My family emigrated from the Soviet Union in 1989, came to Providence. There's actually a very large Russian Jewish population here.
Really?
Yeah, so grew up on the east side of Providence with Kaplan's Bakery, Barney's Bakery, Davis's Deli, loving all of the local Jewish bakeries, and also just ate that kind of food throughout my life, including Russian food from my mother and my grandmother. I also went to classical high school, as I do, and participated in a lot of after-school youth arts programs, including New Urban Arts and AS220 Youth, and that's how I developed my creative practice. After that, I actually moved to Boston for work and school, but then moved back to Providence for a work opportunity, and again worked with art organizations doing fund development. But during that entire time, like, part of my creative practice was also in cooking and baking. So that's how this project developed over the last few years as well.
Awesome. So you really had your hands in this. It started at home.
It did.
You're a very creative individual, as you know.
Yes.
And it really developed, it carried over, it overflowed, you could say, into your cooking in your kitchen.
Yes, yeah. So at one point I realized, okay, it's time to scale up. It's time to think more strategically about this and how I see this developing. And during this entire time, I also had my own freelance projects going on over the last year or so on large-scale mural projects in the city and in the Boston area. So all of this has been growing and evolving over the last year and a half or so to this point, pretty much.
It's incredible. So you've come a long way.
I'd say so. There's a lot of good stuff ahead.
Room for growth and development, but I think that I was looking into what you were really doing this time last year, and from here we are today, and we can talk about your next big project that you're going to be doing, RIPKA. First of all, I want you to tell me a little bit about RIPKA, because I think that the name is interesting, and I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so RIPKA is actually my childhood nickname.
It's very nice.
It is Russian for little fish. Actually, my grandmother called me RIPKA the other day. I was like, it's perfect. Yeah, like it's still a thing. Yeah. And I just thought that would be the perfect name for this food startup that I'm trying to build, which is essentially in honor and in celebration of my family's cultural heritage. And trying to bring back these Jewish and Russian traditions, but in a more modern 2018 way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that that's great where modern can meet tradition, come together. You can have those classic dishes, but maybe with a modern twist or with your own personal touch on them.
Yeah. And personally, I think a lot of first-generation Americans, around our age, are trying to reconnect with their cultural heritage, whether it be through art or music or cooking. And this is my way of trying to do that, and also learn more about my family's history through food, literally breaking bread.
Absolutely, that's a great way to learn about yourself, even.
Yes, yeah,
definitely. So RIPKA is hosting their very first pop-up on Monday.
Yes.
So tell me all about it.
Yeah, so it's actually the very first dinner pop-up.
Okay.
This past August, I held a bagel pop-up at the World's Fair Gallery next to the Columbus Theater, which was a success, sold out in 1 hour. It was insane. Yes. Didn't even look up, just made bagel sandwiches.
Bagels.
But next Monday, I'm actually partnering up with my friends at St. Monday, which is a neighborhood bar, cafe, and restaurant on the West End.
We had them on last week, so
yes.
They're wonderful people. Really love that spot.
I do too. So yeah, I'm taking over the kitchen pretty much. Created a brand new dinner menu just for that night, which contains Eastern European inspired zakuski, which are like Russian appetizers, and that literally translates to something to bite after. So these are foods that people will be eating after, let's say, taking a shot of vodka. That's the kind of vibe we're going for.
So the appetizer is the shot of vodka, and
also Jewish, Jewish Hanukkah staples, such as latkes, what else? Rugula, sufganiyot, which are Hanukkah donuts.
Ooh. So it's a special donut, and what goes into that?
Yeah, so sufganiyot are traditionally fried and then filled with jam and topped with powdered sugar. So it's a jelly donut, but it's especially for this holiday.
Yes. I'd take any excuse. Any holiday that I can eat a jelly donut.
Yes.
It's a good holiday to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. So you'll have your own special menu. What time does the event start?
So it's next Monday from 5 to 11 p.m. The full menu will be offered, which includes 2 sort of like appetizer platters. One is smaller and is vegetarian. Great. The large platter includes a few meat items, which are in addition to what's found on the small platter. We'll also have pierogies, latkes, Russian kotlety, which are meat croquettes that are fried and then served with a mushroom sauce.
Oh, and what kind of meat is in that?
Chicken and beef. So it's a mixture.
Okay.
And we're also serving borscht, brisket. There's a lot on this menu.
Everything. Well, that's great because you can get a taste
Yeah.
of so many different things that, I mean, I don't know if I've tried any of those.
Exactly.
So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of expand your palate. I don't know of many places in Providence that are serving these items. So if you're interested in trying new cultures, cuisines, this is literally the perfect opportunity that you've been waiting for.
Yeah, I'm very excited to share these foods. I mean, I grew up eating, and some of these recipes I had to like pry out of my mom. Like she was like, "It's a secret." Like, from who? Who are you keeping the secret from? But she agreed. So it's very exciting that I can share these foods that's served at pretty much every Russian dinner party.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
That's exciting. So a lot of these recipes are from your family.
It's about 50-50.
50-50.
A majority of them are family recipes. Some are combinations of recipes that I have found and have tested over and over again and have morphed into foods that I really enjoy. Yeah.
Definitely. So tell me a little bit about what you've brought with you today.
Okay. Brought a couple of items, not the full spread because it's going to be much more. I didn't have enough time. But I brought my homemade sourdough boiled and baked bagels, which I've been working on for the last 3 years. It's been
3 years to perfect the recipe.
Yeah,
bagels
3 years this September.
This September it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
But bagel recipes are very temperamental, and you just have to really nail down the perfect, lots of taste testing. I mean, how many bagels have you gone through? Have you taken little bites out of in the past 3 years?
I try to limit myself.
Yeah.
But I think the last batch I made was 12 dozen, so it's about like 144 bagels total in one go. So I think after this one, I need a larger space, and I think I need more people, but we will see.
Any personal favorite spreads that you like to put on bagels? I know you could put just about anything on a bagel, but traditionally, is there something that you're like, these are my favorite things to put on a bagel?
I just love a classic everything bagel with bacon, egg, and cheese. Just messy, like kind of hangover food, but you can't go wrong with that. Yeah.
No, you really can't.
That's about it. Yeah, I'm not doing anything too crazy with these because I think it's what makes them special is like the tradition in it. So.
Yeah, definitely. I really think that if I'm gonna have a breakfast sandwich on a bagel, I demand that the yolk be runny. I have got to have a runny yolk. I cannot have it any other way. But I can agree with you. Nice bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. Absolutely. So lots and lots of bagels that you've gone through. You've taken the time to perfect the recipe. So tomorrow, on Monday, you'll have bagels in the form of chips.
Yep.
And what will they be served with?
So these will be cut up into bagel crisps and slightly dehydrated into like crackers for the small and large zakuski platter, which will be served like, for example, for the small platter, Russian beet vinaigrette salad, which contains beets, potatoes, sauerkraut, pickles. Wow. It's delicious. marinated mushrooms, eggplant, red pepper, dip, spread, and a cucumber radish salad.
Wow.
So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
it's a good sampling.
Very different. Are there any like overlying flavors or seasons that are really found across the board in this kind of cooking? Or what do you find yourself using a lot of?
So much sour cream.
Sour cream. Okay, you know what? I
Like,
love some sour cream. It can
so
really
much.
enhance a dish. Really
Yeah,
nicely.
sour cream, dill, potatoes. You'll be finding a lot of those on Monday. So many potatoes. We will be shredding and boiling.
And boiling.
It's I have a lot of work ahead of me.
Okay.
So,
Hopefully
but it's
you
exciting.
Have an
It's
extra
worth
couple
it.
of hands to help with the
I
peeling.
think so. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yes. Now tell me about your pierogies.
Okay. These
So,
have
sour
also
cream.
been
Yes.
a couple of years in the making.
Sure.
It's pretty basic, but I think like that's what a lot of this food is. It's very simple. It's very homey. It's meant to be comforting. But yeah, so these are filled with potatoes and cheddar, topped with caramelized onions, sour cream, and chives.
That's beautiful.
So it's going to be 3 per serving, and I mean it's just the perfect food. I don't know. I've eaten them like for breakfast sometimes after a night out. I don't know. They're perfect for any time.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
And I think people are really going to enjoy trying them out, along with the latkes and other dishes. So it's meant to be like a sampling of each thing.
Definitely. Now, can you tell me about latkes? Because I think that maybe not everyone knows what they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, latkes are essentially, it's the quintessential Hanukkah food. It depends on the recipe. There are a lot of people with various opinions on these.
Okay.
I'm still trying to negotiate
Sure.
what like the perfect latke is, but it's shredded potatoes, onions, garlic, occasionally added flour or matzah meal and eggs.
Keep it really like dense or
Yeah, I mean, it
sticky
depends on
together.
what you like. I'm not usually a fan of that, but I'm going to do some experimenting and tweaking over the
Sure.
next few days to see how I can scale up because we want to make hundreds of these. Like, we don't want to sell out of latkes.
No, you definitely have to have them on deck.
Yeah, so that's usually served with sour cream, chives, and we're also going to serve them with Christina's apple butter.
Ooh.
Christina from St. Monday. So it's
Very
just going to
nice.
be super delicious.
Absolutely. So it can be kind of served as sweet or savory, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, and sometimes I think we're also going to offer an option for added caviar if you want that extra
Extra
glam.
fancy. Yeah, I love that. Awesome. So you've really, perfected your craft between, whether you're taking something simple, taking 3 years to develop a recipe, a couple of years, but taking something simple and making sure that every ingredient is balanced to make it, something simple into something really elegant.
And that's,
and
I
just
think, in this, type of cooking and this food that's so heavily based on tradition, I think practicing that and perfecting the technique is extremely important. Because in that way you're honoring that tradition. And so for me, that's personal. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're able to put a piece of yourself in that.
Yeah.
So all of these years that you've spent working on these recipes, are you cooking for your friends? Are you saying, I'm making an extra batch of pierogies, I need you to come over and taste them? Or is this just all you, like, at home, just trying everything constantly?
Yeah, they're wicked lucky. I know. I sometimes
Definitely.
think, like,
how
oh my
do I have
God,
your friend list? I want the invite.
that night. I mean, like, I've thrown so many dinner parties at, like, my old studio apartment where I think there was one night I was making pierogies and my friends sat on the floor. Like, there was not enough room to sit. Just feeding them pierogies and other foods. But yeah, I'm so excited that I now have an avenue to scale up and like properly serve these
really
foods.
feed the public and really give them a taste of what you have to offer.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's been just years of like working towards this and practicing and thinking like, is this really worth it? Like, is this really something that people will enjoy? And now that you mention it, like, no one else does this.
Right, and that's what came to mind when I first heard about it. I think I saw it on Instagram, and I was like, that's awesome, because I've been wanting to try. I've been seeing pictures of these on the internet, and I'm like, man, I don't know where I would go to even find that in the city or really in the state. I'm sure that there's places here and there, but not enough of an explosion of that. I want to see it. I want to really be able to try it. It's something that I don't have much experience with, so I love getting taste, like you said, being able to do a sampling of many different things. So that's really awesome.
Cool.
It's a great opportunity for that. But in addition to your cooking, you kind of touched upon it, but I definitely want to get into this as well, because it is another side of you that is like, you're able to be creative in the kitchen, but you have a huge creative side in the art world as well.
Yeah,
so
thank
you are a very well-known local Providence artist. I really love the piece that you do. And I mean, you can see it and know, oh, Rebecca did that. So tell me a little bit about some of the recent work that you've done. So that way when our viewers are out and about, they'll see it and they'll say, oh my gosh, that's it.
Literally down the street, like a block away. So this last year I also started working on large scale murals. For the very first time. So this has been a very big year in terms of like growing and scaling up my work in food, but also my artwork, literally in size. I was asked to do a mural for Needed Donuts over on Elm Grove Ave on the east side.
Their new second location.
Yes, their second location. And then shortly after that, I painted a mural here at a 32 Custom House, which is their downtown location. And it just sort of snowballed. I then spent a few weeks in the Boston area painting 2 murals for Pavement Coffee House on Western Ave in Allston. And then shortly after that, I painted a mural for 9 Dot, which is a design company on Doran Street. Yeah, so it's been really exciting. I have another one currently, like in the proposal stage. So I might be painting another mural by the end of this year, fingers crossed. But you know, it's just, if not now, when? Like it's these opportunities are coming, and all of this work fuels, you know, the other work that I do, and I'm so grateful that I am able to highlight my skills in such a variety of ways.
Definitely.
And with this pop-up, I mean, it's utilizing like event planning and also the creative side and the cooking. So I really hope people can
going into that.
come by. Yeah.
Come and appreciate it, definitely. So you're really putting your touch all across Providence. You're bringing it with the food. You've got your paintbrush and you're leaving your touch all over the city. So definitely keep an eye out for those pieces. Once you see it, you're going to recognize it and you'll be able to tell the next time you see another piece of yours.
Yeah. And also one more thing about the event on Monday. It's also not just a coincidence that like the pop-up is happening. Like one of the co-owners of St. Monday also comes from a Jewish background. So it's you know, personal for them too to highlight these foods and showcase them in the Providence community. So it's a really exciting collaboration and partnership that we've developed over the last week, pretty much. This is a brand new idea. So
well, it's all coming together.
Yes.
Now, do we need tickets? Can we just show up? Do we need to make reservations? What's the best way that we can make sure that we all make it to the dinner?
Just show up, ready to eat, be super hungry. Please come hungry. There's going to be tons of options. For parties of 6 or more, however, reservations are required with a deposit. People can email hello@stmondaybar.com to place a reservation. I think we already have 5.
Wow.
So it's
so it's going to be a full house.
It's going to be packed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So from 5 to 11, we also might have a few like roving performers come by. So we'll see. It's going to be a party for sure.
A good time. Lots of food, lots of fun.
Yeah, pretty much. And like that's the point of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
You want to light up the night, especially at a time where it's like so dark, like at 3 p.m.
I know. Yeah. Really be able to enjoy yourself. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming in, sharing all of this delicious food with us, and really some great background on yourself, on your food, on your art. So please, everyone, check out St. Monday on Monday
for the
pop-up dinner. All right.
Thank you.
And don't go anywhere. We have our second guest coming right up.